What up, YouTube? I'm out here, Sheppard Air Force Base, Wichita Falls, Texas, which I'm actually off base right now because I'm in phase 2. I'll get into the phases here in a second, but if you haven't seen my BMT video, or if you haven't been to BMT, watch that video. It's probably the most informative video there is about BMT. Now, granted, it's like 35 minutes long, so if you haven't been to BMT, it's worth a listen. It'll definitely help you out. I think it's the most informative video there is on YouTube. I get into details a lot of people don't, but you know, if you haven't went, you got 35 minutes, watch that video. It should help you a lot. But now I'm gonna get into the details on tech school. So like I said, I'm out here at Sheppard Air Force Base, and I've been here for about 2 months. I was supposed to be doing EOD. I washed out of EOD. Now I'm doing aerospace propulsion, Shred E, which is F-16s. So that's jet engines. But I want to go into details on what I've noticed about tech school and what you should expect when you come here. So first, I've heard people ask this in BMT: do you have to march in flights in tech school? And the answer is yes. At least here at Sheppard Air Force Base you do. And you still have to march throughout the week. So if you are in OCPs, you will have to march. Like if you're in phase 2, after duty hours, you can change in your civilian clothes. You don't have to march anymore. But if you're in phase 0 or phase 1 and you're in OCPs, you're marching throughout the whole day. They're gonna fly on my damn shoulder. Get off me. He's gonna hang out. Anyway, on the weekends, you do not have to march. Even if you're in OCPs, you can just at ease walk. You know, hands open, carrying a backpack, hands in your backpack, all that. You know, you're fine. You're straight. You ain't gotta worry about it. But so the way the phases work is you will come here on a Friday and you will be in phase 0. And you're in phase 0 for a week. And during phase 0, you don't have any room inspections or no open ranks. So you're basically just getting used to being here. Phase 1, you'll be in phase 1 for 2 weeks. And in phase 1, the only thing difference between phase 0 and phase 1 is your curfew is an hour later in phase 1. So instead of 2100, it's 2200. And you can actually go to the afterburner, which is like an airman's club here on base. It's okay once you get to know people, hang out with them. In phase 1, you cannot drink, even if you're of age. You cannot drink until phase 2. And to get to phase 2, you have to be in phase 1 for 2 weeks. That's gonna be 14 days. And you have to pass 2 open ranks inspections and 2 dorm inspections. So if you have a roommate, you better hope that they're on their shit too. And then to hit phase 3 is basically double the time, 28 days in phase 2. And the only thing that phase 3 really allows you to do is be gone the whole weekend. Like during phase 2, you have to be back on base by basically 23:59. So before the next day. So, you know, if you don't plan on staying out the whole weekend, then there's no point in hitting phase 3. It's kind of a hassle to hit phase 3. You have to have your GPA's got to be at least at 80, and you have to have your flight chief sign it, your instructor supervisor sign it, and then your floor MTL sign it. But if you plan on going out, it's worth it. But if not, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Another thing is 341s are still present here, and you shouldn't be getting them pulled at all. But you know, some people are late to Superflight, so they get their 341s pulled. Sometimes they can be used for accountability. You can get PT passes, stuff like that, you know, depending on what squadron you're in. But so our squadron, we do what's called Superflight. Every morning before school, we all get up. So my shred has a flight. Then there's like every different shred. You got age, which is air ground equipment. You got fuels, you got metals. Everybody gets into the little flights and we all march together going to school. Same thing for lunch. We get in the flight, go to lunch. Now, every squadron is different. I know EOD doesn't they only Superflight the final form and first form maybe. So what these are is first form and final form is Monday and Friday. So first form Monday, final form is Friday. So we get out of school early for that. And it's basically a recap of, so final form is like a recap of the week. You know, if stuff went wrong, they'll tell you what went wrong and how to fix it, what to look out for. They'll tell you about a weekend brief. Don't be screwing in the dorms. You know, if you go off base and you drive, drink responsibly if you're of age. And then they also have what's called rope ups and rope downs. So that's if you want to become a student leader, you get roped up, you get roped down, you got to go through the whole application process. And speaking of student leaders, I'll get into that in just a second. But that's basically what it is. You all come to this big old event, depending on what squadron you're in, where it's at. Ours is like inside like a little alley. And the MTLs will come up. They'll tell us announcements, and then or the leader of each student leader crew will come up on stage. They'll do this rope up, rope down thing. You'll figure it out. You know, it's all right. But yeah, so student leaders are going to be what we call ropes. So there's different programs. You have white rope, which is like church people. They help the chaplain, so like chaplain assistants. And then you have teal ropes, which is SARP. So that's going to be like, shut up, watch. That's going to be sexual assault program. So those are the teal ropes. Then you have black ropes, which is drill. So if you want to do drill, you know, maybe say you want to march a flight or practicing drills, and you will start spinning the weapons like you see on YouTube or whatnot. So you will start doing that as well if you want to do a black rope. Then you have green, yellow, and red. These are what they call stoplights. These are the student leaders. These guys can pull 341s. You know, some people overdo it, some people don't. Some people don't do their job at all. But you have green, yellow, and red. So green is where you start, and then you'll like level up to yellow and then to red. Red is like you'll march the whole Superflight. You become the leader of your squadron, whatever. You know, another thing you have to learn is, I'm just trying to like speedball this like fast as possible. Just overload of information. Another thing you have to learn is, you learn in BMT, it's almost the same concept, just with enlisted members. So BMT, you learn dorm or room 10 hut, which an officer comes in, and then, you know, if you have a captain come in and then he's already in the room, and next thing you know a colonel comes in, then you have to call the room to attention again. The same thing with enlisted members, but this time it's for sergeants, right? So staff, technical, master, senior master sergeant, chief master sergeant, it doesn't matter. It's the same scenario, but instead of room 10 hut, you say standby. So whenever that NCO or senior NCO comes into the room, you'll call standby if you're the first one to notice them. And these, they're wearing like so the MTLs, what they call military training leaders, will be wearing like a dark blue rope. Not teal, but like a dark blue rope. Whenever they come in the room, you're going to call standby. And then you go to parade, rest, until they tell you as you were, or they might say at ease. So usually they'll say as you were. But it's the same thing for instructors too at your schoolhouse. Unless your instructor, if your instructor is a civilian, they might not require you to do it. Mine doesn't, but others will. And so that's pretty much the gist of it. Same thing as officers. So if a staff sergeant comes in, you go to standby. He says as you were. Next thing you know, a technical sergeant comes in, you have to go to standby again. Just like how it was for officers. Another thing is, LOCs are still present, LORs are still present, LOAs are still present. I've not seen anyone get an LOA yet. Hopefully not. I've seen LORs be handed out and LOCs. So LORs will, if you're in phase 3, will knock you right down to phase 1. And I think the worst thing, it'll basically make you restart your time. But the worst part is, you cannot go to RAP. You cannot do Recruiters Assistance Program. So if you think you're going home, it ain't gonna happen if you get LOR, unless you're guard, because That's probably your home base anyway, so you ain't too worried about it. But the biggest problem with the LOR is it travels to your duty base or your gaining base. So I'm pretty sure it does. I know LOCs don't, I don't believe, but LORs might. LOAs, yeah, definitely will. That's like basically Article 15. But there's that. Also, you'll lose your rope if you get the LOR. So if you want to do a rope program, be on your best behavior. Our schoolhouse, the ropes lost their ropes because of a hazing incident. So, and they got LORs as well. So they won't be going on RAP if they're not guard. It's just not worth it. And another thing is, what I've noticed is when people come to technical school, I'm over here talking too damn fast. When people come to tech school, they just break the morals they learn from BMT. So BMT is supposed to teach you discipline, how to eat better. You know, you think about it, you went 2 months without, basically, if you had habits before BMT, you went 2 months without doing whatever that was. You know, so that's vaping, alcohol, caffeine, porn, whatever it was, you went 2 months without doing it. And well, actually they do have coffee at BMT, but at least like you don't have energy drinks. So if energy drinks was your problem, you ain't have it for two months. So that's what I noticed about BMT is, or tech school. When people come to tech school, they eat like fucking shit. They go right back to their bullshit habits that they had before BMT. Vaping again, drinking, sitting on their ass, playing PS5, PS4. Like, you get here on Friday. So every Saturday, I will go to the main BX and watch everybody that just got here the day before buying a shit ton of Chips Ahoy, Doritos, buying ramen noodles. Like, the worst shit for you is exactly what they're buying. I see it every Saturday. Buying a PS5, PS4, Xbox One, whatever these new game systems are. Console, PC. Buying big old towers. Like tower computers, laptops, whatever. I'm like, man, you're going to be here for what, a month? And another thing I see a lot of is PDA. Like, yeah, especially if you were at BMT in an integrated flight and you find that girl that you really like is going to your tech school base, it's very easy to get with that person because it's a familiar face. Everybody leans on a familiar face, you know, and people are just, that's one thing I'll tell you right now. If you do want to get with somebody or mess with somebody here at tech school, and I get it, you went 2 damn months without it, then that's fine, but just wait till you're in phase 2 or 3. Like, take your ass off base, do what you're going to do. Don't do that on base, because let me tell you right now, in the phase 3 dorms, if you're in the phase 3 dorms and you're in a squadron that will down phase the whole dorm, I mean the whole building, like if they find out somebody's screwing in their damn dorms, man, they will phase everybody down. And let me tell you, if somebody spent some money on the hotel in Dallas because they want to spend the whole weekend off base in Dallas, and they spent some money on that, and they find out it's you, they throwing you under the bus. They snitching on you. That way they can go off base, because I think that's how it works in some squadrons. Whenever they find out who did it and it's brought up by multiple people, they can get their phase back. The whole building will get their phase back, besides the people that were screwing in the dorms. So don't be that person that's over here messing around in the dorms, because they will find out. They have cameras everywhere. And I think that's pretty much everything to the nitty gritty I can get down with tech school. I don't there's other stuff I can think about, but that's pretty much the main things I've noticed. And one other thing, if you don't start let's say you come to tech school and you don't start your class till a month, you're going to be doing details in the morning. You're going to come whatever time your squadron tells you to be down here. You're going to be cleaning floors, cleaning laundry rooms. You're going to be cleaning supply closets. You might have to go to the schoolhouse you're supposed to go to and clean that. So don't think that if you I don't know, get here March 15th and you don't start school till what, April 1st or something, that you're just going to sit on your ass, sit in your dorm all damn day. That's not going to happen. You're going to be out here doing details.